Hey everybody, it's Mike. I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a while. I'm going to just freestyle today. I don't really have a topic to talk about. We're just going to see what comes out. I know it's been several days since I posted the last video podcast. Um, I wanted to post something, but I've been down Realtor Week at the beach, and we've been just going nonstop, man, from sunrise to past sunset. That's why my voice is not really as good as it usually is. Had a lot of networking events. I went to a lot of different bars and parties and had a lot of fun, and never got drunk, not once. I had a glass of wine at dinner last night with a couple of friends. My first real food of the week, because we just kept eating like little snack foods at the parties and stuff that were down there. But I guess I just wanted to kind of talk about how it was for me, because I haven't been there for a good 4 or 5 years now. I, for various reasons, they moved it to a different location. Nobody really went. But last time it was at the beach, I just didn't go. I just wasn't feeling it. I was still kind of in my funk phase. Before I had God. But going down there with having God on my heart, was just awesome, because I really believe that I was told to go to this event. I didn't want to go. I just didn't think it was important for me to go. But a good friend of mine, who also is a pretty big believer in Jesus and God, he told me, "Look, man, I'm going to get us a place to stay, so you don't have to pay anything for a place to go." So I was like, "All right, well, I guess I'm going to take that as all I got to do is pay for the conference and I can go, take a little bit of spending money, and, we aren't going to need to spend too much, because, all the lenders and title companies and everybody throwing the parties takes care of all the food and stuff." So I said, let's go down. And I tell you, it was about a 3 hour trip from my house. Nice quiet drive. Just me and God in the car, having time to reflect on everything and just kind of prepare for the week that was coming, and just knowing that I was going to be around all types of people. I was going to be around, good people, and I was going to be around some bad people, some people that are just spiritually broken, that are all about the wrong things in life, like all about drinking and drugs, and making as much money as you can because their money controls their lives. And that's how I used to be, but I'm not like that anymore. So it was interesting to kind of interact with people, and I just had this strong feeling that God wanted me to go down there to just keep an open heart, keep an open mind, and use my discernment and use my wisdom that He's given me to just learn and figure out who the right people are for me to talk to. And I met so many awesome people this week. Um, and as I was talking to them, like different conversations and just different ways we met and stuff like that. Like, I was at one title company's party, and I happened to have my son's high school hat on my head, and the owner of the company came over to me, and we just started talking, because I think she saw my hat, and we just started talking, and we like hit it off. And I used to use them, for title closings and stuff, while like years ago. And I just kind of stopped and started using other people. But we started talking, and they had a really great party, and it was really nice of them to do that for us. And it turns out that her son is actually in the same class as my son at the same school. So we had something in common there, and she was trying to fill me in on, I'm a new parent at this school, and trying to give me some advice on who what events I should go to meet more people, and stuff like that. So that was cool. That was one person. Another person, was completely random meet. Like, I was sitting at a bar, like with my unsweetened iced tea and my like chicken fingers or whatever we were eating, and I'm just sitting there, and this girl comes up, and she sits down next to me, and she's like, you look like you don't like to talk to a lot of people, And I'm like, well, I'm like, I kind of don't, but I'll talk to you, So I talked to her, and we were talking for like, man, like 10 minutes, and then she finally said, well, what's your name? And I told her, my name's Mike, and she asked what my last name was, and I told her my last name, and she like smacks the bar, and I'm like, what is this about? Why are you smacking the bar? Is this something I said? I mean, is it good? Is it bad? I mean, what do you know about me that I don't know about me? And she said, well, my name is Courtney, and Courtney was a girl that, an agent that I had a multiple contract situation on where we accepted the other offer and didn't accept her offer. So I'd never met her before. I never knew who she was, but in all the places that I could have been that night, and all the people that could have come up and sat down next to me and started a conversation, she did. And it was hilarious that it was actually a person that, I needed to talk to. So it's like I feel like God made that happen, and He put that, conversation together for us. And it was just little stuff like that happened throughout the week, and just running into people, and then getting to see the real side of people, getting to learn, when they get wasted and their demons kind of come out a little bit. They get a little bit more loose, when you're not drunk and you're around people that are drunk, you can pay attention to a lot of stuff, and you can kind of tell some people that you thought were like, pretty, cool cats, and, like stand up people, they get some alcohol in them, and it's F this, F that, swinging their fists around. And I mean, and some of these people are like owners of companies that I really respect. Some of them are companies that I use. And I was just kind of like blown away by some of the stuff I saw down there. So it just kind of opened my eyes on, you can't always judge a book by its cover, just by what you see on the surface, or even in what you do by going to have coffee with somebody on the surface. Like, there are layers to people, and you got to kind of peel them down. And sometimes when people's inhibitions are, kind of relaxed, and they're more laid back, and they're more, kind of party atmosphere, you can kind of see, who they truly are, and like I said, it was eye opening. It was an eye opening experience. But I felt like I connected with several different people down there, um, at various spots, at different parties and different locations, just on a spiritual level, and the conversations I felt I had, I felt like I made a difference. Some of the people actually said, like, that's exactly what I needed to hear right now. And it just it just made me feel good, because it made me feel like, I was making a difference in somebody's life. And that's kind of what it's all about. And maybe I got one person that's gonna, believe in Jesus now. Like, one of the ones I talked to, she told me that, um, when we were talking, she's like, my friend went and got some like Reiki healing done on her shoulder, and it, like, she did this like warm therapy or whatever. And as she was talking to the Reiki healer, the person doing the healing, they were kind of talking to them about, spirits, and they were talking about her father who had passed away or something like that, recently, and how they had this new horse. And, like, they were like explaining all this stuff that the person had. And she like told the girl that I was talking to about that, and she was like, wow, like, I don't think she really believed like there was a spiritual world in this world, you know what I mean? And then when I got done with her, and I explained everything to her about what I've been through and my life, and how it's changed, 100,000% for the better. It was just amazing, because she said, I'm trying to think exactly what she said, but she said, um, something like, Now that you sat here and told me that, and I explained to her about how there's a spiritual part of yourself on this earth. So you have a spiritual self, and then you have a flesh self where you live and you can see. That's the people that you see when you walk around. But the spiritual side of you and the spiritual person that you are, you can't see. It's invisible, but you're still there. And it just, it kind of brings me back to my theory, which I don't know if it's written anywhere or proven anywhere or whatever, but just my own personal theory is that every single person on earth, I don't care who you are, is when you're born, you are born, even in the womb, I think, that, and this is why people get all upset about abortion and stuff, and I'm not going there, but when you get created at creation, there's a spirit that's like inserted into you, into your heart, and that's like there for everybody. It's the Holy Spirit is there for everybody on earth. And the thing is, it's up to you to have to realize, how to activate it, and for you to, wake yourself up, so to speak, and really like wake up and, become spiritual. And it doesn't just happen overnight. This is something that, it can happen overnight, if you just believe that there is a God, and you believe that there's Jesus, and that you believe that you have the Spirit inside of you. If you do that and you believe that and you truly feel that in your heart, all you got to do is repent of your sins, and ask to be forgiven, and you'll be saved, man. You'll be saved, and that'll start that activation process of that Holy Spirit in your heart. Everything starts from there. And then that's when, the hard stuff kind of starts, once that gets going, and then you start praying a little bit, you start communicating with God, and you start communicating with Jesus, and then you start kind of learning the way that they want you to live your life, and the way you're supposed to present yourself, and the way you're supposed to carry yourself, and the type of character you're supposed to have, and the type of integrity you're supposed to have, doing the right thing even when nobody's looking, and all that kind of stuff. That is where, the rubber meets the road, so to speak, is in that journey. And it's a journey, man. Like, I'm still on the journey every day. I get tested all the time. Am I going to do the right thing, or am I going to do the wrong thing? Am I going to hold the door for somebody walking out of the store that doesn't have enough, hands to be able to open the door for themselves, or am I not? Let it slam on them, and just do my own thing and worry about me. So you always, it's really about looking out for the other person and the other people, and worrying about other people instead of yourself. And that's for everything in life. And it's really hard to do, especially the way our society is, because we're programmed to be very selfish, and very envious, and very jealous people. It's just the way we're programmed, and it's not our fault. But when you put garbage in up here, like TV, like Netflix, like binging on shows and stuff, like just garbage, just social media, way too much time on that. Unless you tweak your algorithm and you look at positive things. See, there's a way, because I get into arguments with people about that with social media. They say, oh, well, social media is bad. Well, I'm going to tell you it's not, because God actually communicates with me through social media. And I know he does, through songs, through posts, through videos, like from news agencies. Sometimes he'll send something and be like, look at this, look what I did, kind of thing. And it's hard to say that, when you're just looking at it as a regular person and you barely believe in God. Of course you're not going to believe that he's the one that's doing it. But what happens is you're like my feed is completely changed. Like all I see, for the most part, are positive posts. I see, people I'm friends with. I see their happy birthdays. I see their anniversaries. I see, their kids going to school. I see all good stuff, and then I see memes because I post a lot of positive memes, and I'm in groups where it's just groups of positivity and good mental health and good thinking and things like that. Like, it helps you focus on only the positive and not the negative. So when I'm on there, when he's not communicating with me and I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, I'm seeing nothing but positive things and positive reinforcement and positive messages. And that's why I try to every day, I post like 4 memes in the morning so that people can see some positive memes, and maybe they can start seeing some. Maybe they start sharing some stuff too. I mean, because that's what it's all about. It's trying to help other people. It's not about me, I. You know what I mean? So that's kind of that. But this trip, this realtor week, man. I mean, it was such a different experience, for me this time. I went to all the classes during the day, so I was at the convention center sitting in my continuing ed classes, trying not to sleep the whole time, because I was out late the night before at the networking events, but I was networking. That's what I actually did. I did go to networking events, and they were at bars, but I didn't get hammered like a lot of the other people did. I had to drive to be home. I had to be responsible for that. We had like a 15, 20 minute drive to the place that my buddy got for us, which was an awesome place, by the way. And everything just like worked out to be perfect. And, it's funny because I used to go down there to Realtor Week, when I was making big money and everything. And I would only go to the parties. I wouldn't even go to the convention. I wouldn't go to the classes, and I would just be out partying all night till like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I mean, we'd be drinking, we'd be doing little drugs and stuff, and just everything. And I thought that was a fun. I thought that was a blast. But I actually had more fun being sober and seeing the idiots get drunk and trashed and be stupid, and even doing some karaoke with them. We did that last night. We shut down like Bull on the Beach on 94th Street. And we shut that down last night. That place is awesome. We actually went there for lunch, and then we wound up back there later on that night. So that was kind of cool. But it was nice to kind of see everybody. And then in there I ran into somebody I grew up with, and that's a long story too. But she like came right up to me and she's like, Mike, she's like, you don't remember me, do you? And I was just like, wow. But I'm just like, I'm so proud of her because she's like really made something of herself. She's like a superstar, man. She's got two kids. She's got a husband that's pretty cool. I got to meet him. But she's killing it as a mortgage loan officer, and she was making so much money she decided to open up a gym. And then she opened up a second gym, so now she like owns 2 gyms, and she's a mortgage officer, and she's making like ridiculous money. And she's really blessed. And she actually doesn't live too far from me either, which was cool. So maybe we'll do dinner or something one night with my wife and with them. But we caught up and just had good talks. Everything was. The difference is, with me now, being the type of person I am now, the conversations I have with people are very kind of deep and intense conversations, almost like soul to soul type of conversations, which is what I prefer. I want to connect with somebody that I'm talking to. If I'm going to waste my time to talk to somebody and try to help them, I want to meet them on a soul level, like a soul to soul level, and really, talk from the heart, and figure out who they are and are they worth it to be able to be included into the circle of people that I want to be around. Because you are the company that you keep. You're a product of your environment. So if you want your environment to improve, then you need to improve the type of people that you associate with. And, it's not about money, and it's not about success, and it's not about fame. It's about it's about the heart. It's all about the heart that you have. Because if you don't have the right heart, you can have everything else and you can still be a terrible, evil person. And there was plenty of them down there at the conference. And it was, like I said, it was sobering for me to see some of the people that I used to hang around, and just see some of the things that I got to see and really take in and pay attention to while I was down there. And I mean, I pay attention to everything, everything. I even pay attention to things like what type of necklaces people are wearing, what's on it, what type of earrings are you wearing, you know, what's on it, what's the symbol of it, you know. Um, there's clues. People leave clues about who they are. They express themselves, and that's kind of a trick to reading people and sizing them up, because some of the ones that make all the money, they're really evil people. They're just really good manipulators. They're master manipulators, and they're probably really sad themselves, and they're probably real beat up inside, and they're probably real broken inside. I mean, there's people out there that make a lot of money and have a lot of stuff. I mean, several houses and everything, but at the end of the day, what do you really got? When they sit down and look at everything, do you have a nice family that you have that you're with, or did you lose your family? Um, do you have your kids still involved in your life, or do they not talk to you? Like, I don't talk to my dad. I haven't talked to him in, you know, over 20 years, and I've done my part. I've reached out to him. I sent him a letter a couple months ago again and just said to him, I've been saved and I'm a son of God now, and I've changed my life and I live through Jesus and the Spirit, and I listen to what Jesus and God tell me to do. And if that's wrong, if that's the wrong way to live my life, then I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right, because that's the way I live my life, and I feel great. I feel at peace. I feel total bliss. Right now, I'm a little tired. I'm a little worn down. My voice is a little, beat up from talking in a bar with music pumping so loud, but I enjoy that, man. I mean, I used to be a bartender. I used to thrive in that environment, and it was just nice to be able to go back to the environment and not be the guy, with 3 beers in his hand, pounding beers and doing beer bongs or keg stands or just being stupid. Um, it was good to completely change and just have everybody see me too, and see that I was drinking my unsweetened iced teas, and drinking my waters, and still tipping the bartenders too, because they're working hard, they're not charging me for my drinks, so why not drop them a couple bucks when you get a drink? You know what I mean? You got to help people out. That's what I'm talking about. It's like doing the right thing even when nobody's looking. You just a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. But there's a lot of people out there that don't tip at all. It's like a private party, so they figure, well, the people that are throwing the party are just going to give them a big tip at the end. I don't need to tip. Well, I mean, here's the trick though. If you do tip, when you go up to get your next drink and they got 30 people that are at the bar looking for a drink, they're going to find you first. They don't forget who who gives them money. So that's another trick too. I mean, that's trick of the bartending world. When I used to bartend, I remember that too. You know, especially like you're gonna snap your fingers at me, you're gonna be the last person in the world that's gonna get a drink. Um, so it's crazy, man. But it was so much fun. I had such a blast down there, and I sold a house. The house that I had that was under contract that fell apart with the first agent that I took over the other agent that I met, the Courtney agent that I met. Um, her buyers weren't really still interested in it, but I wound up getting the contract from somebody else, and we sold that. We sold that house while I was down there. So I literally just got home. I signed it up. Well, I'm waiting for my sellers to sign it now, and it'll be a done deal. So God set that up too. He set that up. Um, it's just His way of blessing me. So now it's like, all right, I'm back. Give me like a day to collect myself and relax for a little bit and get my affairs in order, and and give me some more business, God, because I'm ready to go rock and roll now. And we'll see what happens. You never know what's gonna happen with Him. So I don't know what I'll title the video, but maybe everybody's got the Holy Spirit. They just don't know it. I think that's a good title. Because, if you're watching this video, I'm telling you, you got the Spirit. Every single person, when you were conceived in your mother's womb, you got the Spirit. It injected itself into you. And if you watch, I saw some video, it was like a slow motion video of the sperm going into the egg, and there's actually a light that kind of shines when the sperm goes into the egg. So that's like a spirit. It's like a soul spirit going in there. And I'm telling you, that's the Holy Spirit. It's going and forming that person. And it just grows and grows. But it's up to you to activate it. And you got to be the one that's got to go to God. It's like, if you're the guy, as much as you don't want to do it, you got to go ask the girl to go dance. You have to. You have to be the one to do it. So, pretend you're the guy and God's the girl. You got to ask God to dance. And how you do it is you pray and you talk to Him. I mean, when I was driving, I'm just talking to Him. I'm talking to Him in the car. I'm like, all right, so we're going to have a good week, What's going to happen down there? Are we going to run into some cool people? Show me what's going to happen, and I can't wait. I'm excited, and he didn't talk right back to me, but I just got it out. I told him what I was looking forward to, and I had a great time. And I prayed every night and talked to him every night. And I didn't have as much time to spend with him as I wanted to, because I was out doing stuff. I was at the conference. I was in the classes and everything else. But my point is, I did not have time for God. You always have time for God. You always find time for God. Because even if you're sitting in a class and you have to close your eyes, you can literally talk to God inside your head and not even say anything through your mouth. You just pray in your head. You just talk to Him in your own head. He can hear your thoughts. He can see your thoughts. And the good thing with that, doing it like that, is the devil can hear you. So when you talk, the devil's listening. But when you talk to God in your head, the devil can't hear that, because he can't read your mind. So think about that when you want to talk to God about some real serious stuff, or some real big plans that you have that you want to accomplish. That way you don't have the evil one listening in on your call. It's like having somebody on that other line of that phone. Like when I was a kid, it's like my brother being on the phone in my house at the same time. I know most people on these smartphones, if you're under if you're under 40 years old, you probably don't know what it's like to have a house phone and get a cordless phone, and have other people have phones in the house and be able to have one line to the house and have call waiting. And I remember all that stuff. It wasn't that long ago, well before cell phones, so it makes me feel old. But anyway, now I'm using cell phones to do podcasts. This is crazy, right? So what's going to be next? Who knows? But only God knows. God knows. He knows all. So just open your hearts up. Open your hearts up to the Spirit, and just get that Spirit inside of you, because when you do, your life changes, and it is just great. And when you do things like this with work and go to conferences and events, it will be such a different experience. You will connect with people on much higher levels than you ever thought possible. And it's just such a blessing to be able to do that. And then you get to find some real true friends and friendships, you know? So anyway, I won't keep going on too much longer because we're already at 30. So if you like the video, I always say give it a thumbs up, give me some comments, please share it if you can on your social media. It does help. I'm trying to get as many views as I can on this stuff, just to try to drive more traffic here, to get more people to believe in Jesus and God. Like that's what it's all about. So again, I don't monetize this, at least not yet. I don't even know how to do it. And my goal is to get as many people back to Christ, and back to God and believing, and let Him take care of everything else. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate every one of you. God bless each and every one of you, and have a great rest of your week. Talk to you probably tomorrow. I'll probably do another one tomorrow. See ya.